Edward Roottree. Which one is that? Edward Clancy. This guy. Elizabeth Cravensworth. Lloyd Carpenter. Raffatoons. Raffatoon's site that once had a photo of Clark on it no longer exists. Instead it redirects to a site for a telephone number called 1010-250, which frustratingly keeps popping up advertisements in new windows every few seconds. You manage to close them, but it sure is annoying. 1010-250 is apparently a phone number you can dial before making a long-distance call to receive a discount from the telephone company. For the past few months, you've been inundated with ads for it and other services like it. This includes TV spots starring celebrities, radio commercials with parodies of popular songs, and banner ads for it on many different websites. It doesn't seem to be relevant to your search. The Raffatoon's domain was likely purchased by a third party when the license expired. Yeah, that makes sense. Anyway. You've seen that already. Nothing for Albert Cross. Red Cross. We've already looked for Christine Garland, right? Beatrice Watts, Corinne Schwartz. I think I've looked for both of these already, right? Anyway, Juliet McCullen, Doris Mays, Lisa Lewis I've looked for, Valerie Ewing as well. It's too much. It's too many names. I don't know. I don't know. Douglas Rosenberg. Really nothing? Yeah, all these are dead ends. Worktime Temp is a company with many offices all over the United States. The Roottree Candy Company is listed on their site as one of the companies they do business with, though it's far from the only one you recognize. As far as you can tell, there's no connection between Worktime Temp and anyone related to your search. That makes sense. So there's one thing here. I thought maybe like the rehiring of Douglas Rosenberg could be related somehow. Was fired and then rehired, I don't know. But maybe not. Or maybe it's all just about Susan Ford, who I just can't find anything about. I don't know where we're going from here. There's still a lot of stuff in the reminders somehow. I don't know. Okay, Caroline Morden. After the release of 6 pieces, Caroline Morden did a television interview. Someone has uploaded a partial transcript of that interview on the television section of a messaging community. The transcript is only her answers and is missing the questions. This creates a somewhat confusing reading experience, but does give you a bit more history about Caroline and some of her family members. Okay, so quick reminder, Caroline is artist lady. "45 minutes, the Caroline Warren interview." Sure. This was a cable news interview. A transcript of only Caroline's answers has been posted on a site about television. Thanks for having me. Okay, that's probably not relevant. I've never really fit into the family, so it didn't surprise me. She could have put me in if she wanted to talk about the time during my activism days when I almost got arrested for stealing the spark plugs out of all her tractors, but I don't really think it fit her narrative. So that's probably how she feels about not being in the book or something. Yes and no. They never tried to kick me out or send me to live on a farm, if that's what you mean. But it was already pretty unpopular, and once everyone learned why I divorced my husband, few people paid me any attention. Yeah, she's my wife, not legally, but we've been together for half our lives. Call it what it is. I was 20 and had just had my daughter. I hate to look back on that time because I was a terrible mother the first few years. I left my daughter with my ex-husband and followed the guy on a private jet to Europe. He lost a tooth and a client. I found love and a better understanding of who I was. Still, in our family's eyes, his trip was somehow more acceptable. Explain that. No, I couldn't stand him. Our family wrote off his behavior like he was some huge fan of Romans or women, but he didn't like the entire woman. That's probably fair. It was doubly awkward for me because he was more supportive than most. I slowly figured out it was because he assumed I would be as shallow as he was. That's all about Guy. He was a workaholic. He seemed nice enough and did a good job. I didn't know him well. That was one of Sam's problems with our family. None of us did except Carl. Honestly, I get why she's pissed. That's not about Guy anymore. I'd rather not speak ill of the dead. That's about, like, Ernie or whatever. Not unless you want more stories about Guy. Oh, I like that. I'd rather not speak ill of the dead, but that guy sucks. Or sucked, anyway. With Carl, though, all I can say is we used to be friends before they sent him to private school. He came back to Lord Georgia. It made sense when they made him president. He was a lot like my father after they disciplined the fun out of him. After I started protesting the farms, he stopped returning my cars. Well, he's harder to labor. When I was a teenager, he was basically drunk or high or both all the time. He actually used to sell me pots. His problems with women were different than guys, but he never really judged me. I guess he knew it would be pretty hypocritical to judge anyone for anything. Back then he was destructively unreliable in every way, but nowadays he's just kind of boring and old. I prefer that to how he used to be, and to Guy and Carl. But it's still a cautionary tale. I hope I'm never that boring and old. So that's about... Clark, right? Anyway. That didn't really give me much though, did it? Yeah, there's not even anything in there. All we know is that Guy went to Europe, lost a tooth in the client, so probably did something inappropriate. And we know, I mean, we already knew that he, you know, he didn't like the entire woman. Like, we already knew based on the, you know, based on the very many affairs that he wasn't, you know, like a good guy. So that doesn't really help much, unfortunately. But it gave us a new evidence thingy. That's fun. That's nice. Stephanie Jones, Brian Jones, yes. Maybe we should look at Chris again. Yeah, Chris Rafferty's prodigy sites seem to have been discovered by the masses. Gone are the art pictures of his cousins. Instead, it's a list of questions that people kept emailing him. The most relevant ones are the following. Are you the son of Clark Rafferty? Yes, but I didn't grow up with him. I remember him from when I was a little kid, but I moved away with my mom when I was very young. We left Pennsylvania and moved back home to Virginia. I know very little about Virginia, just kind of like a place. I don't know. I have like no. It seems like this very neutral thing in my mind, you know. I have like no. I don't know. We lived there with Pete, my stepdad. My dad and I spoke a few times when I found his phone number on a check he sent us in the mail when I was 15. He was happy to hear from me, and now he calls me once a month and came to visit me at college. He tells me about things I don't remember and people like Guy Hudson and Ernie Madsen. My dad and I get along, but obviously we aren't very close. Did you ever meet the Roottrees? I used to know the Roottrees, but never the sisters. I was in the office sometimes when I was a kid, and I definitely met Guy Hudson before he died, but I don't remember. My memory is weird. It's hard to know what I actually remember and what I only think I do because I have pictures. For example, I have a photo from when I was 5 and in the office with my dad and Guy was there. I made myself sick by eating chocolate and some woman who I don't know cleaned my face. I don't know if my memories of that come from the picture or not. The photo has been added to your evidence. Nice. How do you have proof of Ernie Madsen's heart condition? I knew Ernie had a heart problem because my dad told me on one of our phone calls. I asked him about the poison because I saw it on the Roottree Curse website, and he emailed some old stuff including the proof, but even with the proof the website didn't take it down. You spelled fiancé wrong. I'm not good at spelling or writing, yes, true. I'm good at painting and other arts. I'm going to school to learn how to edit movies. I want to make cartoons someday. Lulu is much better at spelling. His fiends. It's much better, that makes sense, yes. Okay, so where's that picture? Let's look at that. It's a good picture. That's an interesting... Is that the 2? Anyway. This photo was on Chris Rafferty's website. According to Chris, it's a photo of him, his father, and Guy Hudson. While they were distracted, he snuck into the supply of chocolate they kept for visitors and tourists. Chris Rafferty did not know who the woman in the photo was. Can we figure out when this is? There's a calendar, but I don't know. I don't have a month. Otherwise, you could figure out based on like Monday being the, I think that's this Monday, 1/8. You know, we could figure out which year it is, but we don't have a month. That's a shame. That is a shame. But that's you. And that's definitely Guy. And then that's definitely Clark. And the woman is one of the affairs, I'm sure, but I don't know. Club stamp? I mean, maybe. Who knows? When I was 5. When were you born? In 75. So that's actually, we know when that is. Approximately. Like 80 or 81. Who was the affair at that point? '81. Maybe Susan Ford. But there's like another, like it's just too many affairs. Like there's at least another affair. I don't know, in there somewhere. If this is even Susan Ford, which I'm not 100% certain. Anyway, he's 24 in college. Yeah, why not? Anyway. Okay. One of Sam's farm supervisors was named Elizabeth. Elizabeth had a daughter who Sam never met, but who worked as one of Guy's secretaries. And they eloped. So that we have locked in over here, because we know that this is the chef, the caterer, and this is Christine, Elizabeth's daughter. Yeah. Expanding to markets, when he went to trips overseas, often for weeks at a time. More time and money. Bribed at least one politician to open a factory in Brazil. And then, yeah, Elias, Beth, a secretary named Elizabeth. Never met her. I don't know how to like search for that, really. Because we have so little to go of. That's also weird that that's filled in. And there's so much more. There's so many more family members offer. But we can't even start because we don't have, I don't know, we don't have anything. We don't have any names or anything. Like I don't have a last name for this Elizabeth from 1921, and we don't have any like company records. The earliest is 75. I don't know how this helps me still, like this is such a mess. But I mean, that's the bank wrote by the king, Flora and Yates spent their days baking together. The travel for 45 years, settled down for 15 more. The souls were golden with no regrets. So that sounds like they had like a happy ending, right? They were bankrolled by the king, so they got like money from the Roottrees. Anyway. But there are no names or anything here. Yeah, position as the king's personal baker. And Yates baked for the kingdom's 45 diplomats. Because he was the caterer for the parties. She felt as if she was torn in two. She had not been made aware of the gift and had already prepared buns for the palace ovens. So she was already pregnant. So I don't know. I don't know what I get out of this though. Like, that's just, what am I looking up here? Like, there's nothing. Keep clicking the wrong stuff now. I think it's time to wrap it up. Where do I find your like picture? That seems so weird. Like, I don't know where it would be. I don't know. Because we looked up the names and there's like nothing there. There has to be like something else I can look up somewhere though, so we can get the name of the children too. I didn't copy that, huh? No, come on. Kitchen Tales. Garnishing the Truth. Do I have to have it all in name? Yes. How did I not? How did I not copy it again? I swear I did. Anyway, Simmer. And Garland. There we go. Published 94, non-fiction softcode. The introduction of this book is a series of acknowledgements from Steve. The first is Christine. Thank you for everything. Your support means the world to me. You're the apple of my pie. Second is to James and Robert. You're becoming amazing men and incredible chefs. I guess I'm a good teacher. Okay, so that's those are the sons. The final is to Mark Zimmer. You proved my storytelling approach to recipes could be popular. Without you, this book couldn't exist. There's also a foreword by Mark Zimmer. I first met Steve in 1978 when he taught a cooking class. The next time I saw him, was over a decade later when he was suing me for stealing his recipes. Yes, really. So you might wonder what I'm doing in this introduction. Well, it turns out that Steve and I had more in common than we thought. Instead of settling in court, we settled it at McCarran's brewhouse over a game of darts. They said it'd give us the first drink of the night free for an entire year for mentioning them. By the end of the game, he and I agreed we'd both rather make a ton of money together than spend a ton of money on lawyers. It's pretty rare to meet your best friend so late in life, but when I decided to retire, I moved to Boston just so we could hang out. So if you're browsing this book in a bookstore, please buy our book. We need more money for when the free beer runs out, and the bookstore could probably use the sale. Sounds about right. Robert. And let's say they became chefs, so let's just guess that's still true. Nothing. Nothing. Okay, that's a shame. We don't have anything if they're in Boston. We don't have any Boston. We have, no Boston papers. I don't know how I would find the name of one. But yeah, they have pictures somewhere. I just don't know where. this also just seems weird. Because I don't know how this is like arranged. It doesn't seem right, but whatever. Yeah, and Christine, that's right. All this tracks, all of this is right. All of this makes sense. My current brew house is a pub in Boston. They have a website. Apparently the bar has been around a long time. On the site there's a list of famous people that have had a drink there, including former presidents of the United States, not of the Roottree Company, Kennedy. There's also a few listings of television shows and books that have mentioned McCarrans, as well as how they came up. One of them is in Garnishing the Truth, which the site has this to say about. Local and regular Stevie Chi wrote a book about food. We prefer cocktails, but he gave us a shout out, and we ain't gonna say no to free press. So go grab a bite at his kids' joint Fry Die, and then swing by to meet him for a drink. Fry Die is a fairly popular restaurant in Boston. They don't have a website, but many locals seem to mention them in various places. One more in-depth review explains that it's not a full restaurant, just a front door and a very small interior with a window. Unusually, the restaurant only serves vegetables. That is weird, but a lot of reviews say that in spite of that, it's delicious. I don't know. That doesn't fit into my, like, what I think of Boston. Boston in the 90s? Only serving vegetables? That doesn't sound like it could work. You also find a short story about it listed on a website called My Boston Homepage. Whoever runs the page seems to just link to random sites related to Boston, tell personal anecdotes related to Boston, and give their relatively short opinions on things in Boston. It's very unorganized. It has this to say about Friday: wicked overrated. See, that sounds more like Boston. I saw it in Chef's Signature, so I went and there was a huge line and it didn't have a single meat dish. What's even the point? Yeah, see, that's what I mean. Like, that's what I think about Boston. That sounds like Boston, not like... Anyway, Chef's Signature is a magazine related to food and trendy restaurants. They cover subjects all over the United States. Okay. Chef's Signature covered Fry Die less than a year ago, right around the time you were doing your initial investigation. Each article in Chef's Signature tends to focus on a restaurant, and like the magazine's name implies, each restaurant lists the one main dish that the head chef is known for. Fry Die's signature is the samosa cone. The cover and main article has been added to your evidence. Nice. Chef's Signature, a nationally published magazine targeted towards fans of unusual restaurants, featured James and Robert Garland on the cover of their November 1998 issue. According to the article, the two brothers own a small walk-up window in Boston called Fry Die, a play on the tie-dyed shirts that the servers wear, that exclusively serves vegetarian dishes. Okay, that's different though. It's that it only serves vegetables. That's different than vegetarian dishes, I feel. Anyway. Most of the offerings are heavily inspired by the powerful spices found in Thai and Indian food. Their signature dish is the samosa cone. From a distance, somewhat it resembles a traditional ice cream, complete with wafer pattern. Instead, it contains fried potatoes, pureed peas, carrots, and a special ginger-based sauce. Hey, sounds good. I would try. I would try it. Robert, who is 3 years younger than James, so James is the older one. Yes, I read that right. Jokes that although the age difference has left him delegated to wear the sous chef jacket his whole life, he doesn't mind. As a result, James answers most of the interviewer's questions. James credits his love for food and his culinary skills to their upbringing. Most kids hate vegetables growing up, but they don't have parents like we did. My father was a chef and my mother grew up on a farm that supplied his restaurant. That's how they met. I don't have any memories from the farm or anything like that since we moved here before I could even talk. But he told me stories. My dad's a great storyteller. He even wrote a book that partially helped fund Fry Die. When we moved, they were looking to open their own restaurant together. Unfortunately, they never got it off the ground. His line cook gig ended up being less temporary than he hoped, and she had to go back to work as a secretary even after Robert was born. Before we were old enough to go to school, we spent our days with my aunt. In the diner where he worked, my dad had no room for experimenting, so he'd exercise his skills at home on his days off. We'd always go shopping and cook as a family on those days, and even though we were hyper kids running around and causing a ruckus, those were some of our family's favorite memories since we were all together. Mom always had the eye for the best vegetables for him to work with, and she did her best to pass that on to us. According to the article, their parents, who are now retired, visit Friday often. They even have a signature dessert, the Sistine Apple. Apple pie has always been my mom's favorite, and my dad always had the stupid line he used to make her laugh involving apple pie. Most people realize it's a Sistine Chapel pun, yes. I assume that's all there is to it, but it's actually secretly named after them, sort of. Alright, sure. Can a vegetarian diet be trendy? Sitting down with the Garlands, the new boys in Boston. Anyway. So James is old, Robert is young. That's what I have. Is that him delegate to wear the sous chef jacket his whole life? Is this the sous chef jacket? Because this is not a jacket. Maybe. Where do I find her picture though? I thought this would like give us like a family picture or something. Anyway, I do want to see the Sistine Chapel again, I think, but I'd like to see it like alone. Which is definitely just not gonna happen. But I think I would like to look at the ceiling on my own, like just me, no one else. Again, yes, again, I've been to Rome, I've been to the Vatican. And like you kind of walk through the Sistine Chapel, but it's just like it's just like full of people, and you just kind of slowly walk through, and you don't even have time. Like I don't know, it kind of sucked. And even though the experience is not great because of that, because it's just funneling like a whole lot of tourists through, you know. It's still and again, and I'm also not like I don't really care about the religious whatever. It wasn't like that for me, but like I do think that there was like the ceiling is there's something there, I guess. I don't know. Like I didn't feel like a religious epiphany or anything like that to me, but like I do feel like there was like something there. Even with how annoying the whole experience kind of was, because you just kind of had to like go. You know? I don't know. But yeah, I want to awe in the presence of greatness. Yeah. But like, it just felt like lackluster because there's just not, you don't really get to really like appreciate it, right? I like to take my time with art and stuff, so like that, it's just, I don't know. But it's just, I don't think they're ever gonna like, you know, give me like a private tour. Which is a shame. But you know, maybe. Maybe. Rome is nice though, for sure. Like, I don't know, if you get a chance to go to Rome. It is obviously touristy, but it is nice. And I did throw a coin in the Trevi fountain, so that means like I'm gonna come back, right? That's the thing. I'm pretty sure. Anyway. Like it was a school trip when we were there, and I remember we were. I think that was. No, that was in Rome. We were like on like a. I don't even know where exactly. Yeah, no, that must have been Rome. We were like in a bunch of different places in Italy, but like I think that was in Rome. And we were like in the pizza place, and we ordered like drinks, and like we had just one. I don't know. I don't even remember who it was. But we ordered like a bottle of water for the table. And the waiter was like he misunderstood. And he thought he ordered a bottle of vodka for the table and was shocked. And I don't think he was acting. I think he was genuinely like shocked at the order, because we were like, I don't know, quite different things. Yes. Quite different things. Maybe he was just like playing, just like kind of, But it felt sincere. He felt sincerely like shocked. Anyway. But we did get a bottle of water, not vodka, so it all turned out fine. Pizza was pretty good too. Anyway, let's get out of here maybe. We made good progress. I have no idea how to find Christine's face. I have no idea where to look for that. But we have like this guy, right? I'm pretty sure. And these two, I'm kind of sure, maybe a little confident that they're right. So that's nice. And then we need one more. If we had the picture, we would have this one for sure as well, which would be nice. And then this might be actually not farmer, but secretary again. I think it said she had to work as a secretary again. We should actually change this, otherwise I forget. And then I don't know. We need to find something that opens up this. We need to find more about Elias. But that's so hard because 1921 is so long ago. I don't know where to look at all. Maybe this one goes backwards. Maybe we just find someone and then work up. But I don't know how we would find like a name down here somewhere and go the other way. But it would feel more reasonable though, for sure. And yeah, these other two affairs, or two affairs. One I'm pretty sure is Susan Ford. I think anyway. Unless this is a separate person and like, but I don't know. It feels like this. It feels right. The only thing that I was also thinking is that like he hired Susan Ford was hired under a special category that only existed for 1 year, interpreter. So the only other thing would be you hire an interpreter to then be able to talk to a deaf person. So maybe, but then you wouldn't have, that doesn't, it's too weird, right? That would be too weird. If you had an affair with a deaf woman and hired an interpreter specifically to be able to talk to her. That's too weird, right? That can't be it. But maybe, who knows? Who knows? Anything goes when you're rich. That's true, but it's still too weird, I think. And then like it never really mentions. It just says Mrs. Hughes, and before it is Susan Ford. I just don't know where we get that picture though. Like I don't know where we get all those pictures. There must be. Maybe we can find some of those. Maybe we look for the parties. Maybe we have to look for the New Year's parties and the Christmas parties, and maybe there's like something somewhere where there's like a photo, and then we can like connect some dots from like the different years or something. That's the only other way we could get to some of these faces, because I don't know where else they would be. Because this one was from like a company picnic, right? There. At a company picnic, yeah. So that seems like a plausible way to find more faces. Guy Hudson Pig reminds you a bit of Robert Redford. I can see that. If you spend $7,500 on a party, the budget better include a photographer. That's fair. That's fair. I do agree. Anyway, is there anything else that's new here? No, right? The house is the same, right? Anyway, I really like this game still.